3, Aqeedah course, level 3, and we are spring 2026, inshallah. First, Jazakumullah khair, and thank you for coming. Spend some time in the house of Allah, the masjid, learning about your deen, about your religion, the foundations of your deen. You have already had in your hands the paper handout that will help you, inshallah. So it will reduce the time that you are writing. However, if somebody likes to write or to highlight, that will be great. Keep these papers with you, write your names on them, and keep them not only for now, even in the future. We're going to study an important text and materials, so always keep them with you. If Allah makes it easy, inshallah, I'll be publishing a booklet, a small one in the future, so that will be, you see, oh, I remember that. Bi'idhnillah, inshallah, ask Allah for help. Okay, so today is the Aqeedah, the first session of the Aqeedah level 3, and the textbook that we'll be studying is Aqeedah Tahawiyya, questions and answers. So we have a text, and very old text, that Muslims have been studying over generations. Millions of Muslims studied this Aqeedah text, and will be studying it. However, to make it easy for you, I am turning it into a Q&A, questions and answers. Okay, questions and answers, as you see. Let us start from the very beginning. This course is called the Aqeedah, not a. Aqeedah, you say it? Aqeedah. So what Aqeedah means? Aqeedah. What does it mean, Aqeedah? So Aqeedah is? Yes.
The faith.
It is the basic knowledge of the faith. Okay? The basic knowledge of the faith. What you have in your heart and mind, yes?
Basically, the doctrine.
The doctrine, okay, this is one of the translations, the doctrine, and they call it sometimes the decree. Okay, the creed. The creed is the qadr of Allah, part of the Aqeedah, but it is the creed, the doctrine, the tenets, the foundation. So the strong beliefs in your mind and heart is the Aqeedah. Okay, the strong, it should be strong. You believe absolutely that they are true. That this is a fact to you. It is absolute knowledge. So this is Aqeedah. Okay? It is not offering salah. The salah is a practical thing, all right? That we'll study it in another course called fiqh. Okay? Fiqh will come to some practical things, to make wudu, how to do hajj, how to fast. But this one is just some knowledge that you keep in your mind and in your heart. Okay? This is Aqeedah. The foundations of Islam, the basic knowledge of Islam. Okay? Translated, creed, faith, doctrine, canon, theology. Nowadays you'll find colleges of theologies, and somebody studying a course of theology. It is the same. It is the principles of faith, the basic foundations of faith. It is taken from the word uqda. Uqda. And that means a knot. If you have a rope or a thread and you make a knot and you squeeze it very strong. Now, can you undo it? Are you skillful if there is, like even a bag, like there's sometimes bags, are tied up and there is a knot and you try to undo it and it is difficult, right? So uqda, this is uqda, aqeedah uqda, this is uqda. It is a knot. So the aqeedah should be very strong in your heart. Like that uqda is not easy to undo. It is very strong. Okay, and very foundational. Come, okay. Squeeze here, this side, a little bit. Yes, and we'll come in front. Okay, so this is Aqeedah or Uqda. Okay, clear? Bismillah. Why Aqeedah is important? How will it help us? Is it important first? Yes, absolutely. Right? We always start with the Aqeedah and we teach the Aqeedah. So why this Aqeedah that we should have in our minds and hearts important? Why? Because it is, would like to read this, man.
Aqeedah is the most important because it's the first thing to learn and to believe and to be a Muslim.
The most important thing in Islam, because this is what will make you a Muslim, right? You first, you think about it. Imagine at the time of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is more obvious than nowadays because you grow up as a Muslim. But think about like the Sahaba, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, and other Sahaba. The Messenger would communicate with them, telling them that only we should worship Allah. He's the one who created us. We're not going to worship anyone else but Allah. So he's thinking and he's reflecting, right? So far is knowledge, right? Then he accepts that knowledge. Then he says, okay, I am a Muslim. I submit myself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So the Aqeedah in the beginning is some knowledge in your heart and in your mind. You reflect on it. Sounds good? So you cannot be a Muslim without Aqeedah. So it is the first step to be a Muslim is knowing your Aqeedah. And mashallah, your parents from at a young age, they taught you that basic knowledge. Allah Akbar, Allah is our creator, etc. Tell you about Allah. So this is the foundation. And you cannot be a Muslim without having the sound and the correct Aqeedah. Okay? Does it help us?
Yes.
In what ways? Protect us from misguidance, right? From misguidance. So if somebody doesn't have enough knowledge, then somebody will tell him something and he will believe in it. But if you have the solid knowledge, what Allah is and what is not, then it's easy for you to hold to your faith, right? Even if someone tries to mislead you, right or left, then you say, no, this is not true. Alhamdulillah, you have some knowledge. This is why you are in level 3. You have some knowledge, but you need to add more. When you go to universities, when you go to streets, when somebody comes and says, you're like, oh, I have a God. Today I was in the farmer's market and somebody came and he claimed that this is his God because of this and that. Okay, so I should have some knowledge saying, okay, like if you agree with this, then what about that? If you agree that curing sick person or resurrecting is a sign that somebody is a God, what would you say about Moses when he turned a snake into a snake? Isn't that a miracle? You were talking about a miracle. Then if anyone who has a miracle, then he is a God, then Moses should be, by your definition, is a God. Then number 2, does God die? This is no. This is okay. By your definition, then you are contradicting yourself because your God dies. And you say, God, this is that and that. I said, okay, people have their own imaginations. You go to other religions, other people, they have their own imaginations about God. So once you have some basic knowledge, it will help you be strong in your faith and not to be carried away or taken away by the faith of other people. If someone is weak in his faith, then he will be like not sure maybe, and maybe will be influenced, having bad ideas, adding more stuff to Allah, to his faith without realizing. So having knowledge means a protection from misguidance. And what else? What is the benefit of learning? What do you think of this? Do you agree? Anyone can paraphrase it, say it in your word? Learning about Allah and Aqeedah, what will lead to?
Increase our faith and love.
Increase our faith and love to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why when you read the Quran, you'll find a lot of ayah. And the Quran is a guidance. And for the one who's a little bit having some issues, the best way is go to the Quran, go to the Hadith, and learn more about Allah, so it will be solid. Having solid and strong knowledge about Allah and the foundations of Islam will protect you from misguidance. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you for the knowledge, getting the love, and inshallah on Yawm al-Qiyamah you will be in Jannah because of your faith. Grab a chair. Sit here. مالك يا بتزيح يمين أو شمال وين بدك تقعد؟ Iman. How Aqeedah is related to Iman? Are you a believer? Mu'min? No, mu'min, right? A believer. You believe in Allah. So what is the relation between Aqeedah and Iman? Is there a difference between the two?
Aqeedah is like more the basic approach,
Mm-hmm.
and like the one that highlights everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then Iman is like more leans to the spiritual side.
Okay, that's one way. What else? That's good. Mm-hmm.
Aqeedah is like the basics, while Iman is like the the complete faith in Allah. It's not just the basics; it's more of the complex
Mm-hmm.
things
Okay.
and all.
What else? Okay, Aqidah is the knowledge, and Iman is the fruit of that knowledge. Aqidah is the knowledge. In your mind, yeah, I believe in Allah. I believe in His Malaika. I believe in that. Okay, so what? Then you say, I firmly believe in Allah, and because of that, I am a Muslim and I practice Islam. So that will be the result of the Aqidah. So Aqidah is the foundation of the knowledge. Then you have the fruit, you have the tree. Let us say Aqidah kind of is the roots of a tree. Aqidah is just very deep. Then the tree of Iman comes and produces the root. Okay? So Aqidah, what we are studying is just the roots, the basics. Okay? It will help you to be a better Muslim. It will help you to practice Islam more and more. Okay? So if you are in an exam and I say, okay, what is the difference between Aqidah and Iman? You have to know that Aqidah is the basic knowledge, like the roots of the tree, and the Iman is the tree itself, and is the fruit. Okay? Okay, let me write it here. I forgot to add it. Okay. Aqidah is like the tree. You can add this phrase. Is like the Aqidah is like the roots, and Iman is the tree. It's a fruit. Okay. Aqidah is like the roots, and Iman is the tree, and it's a fruit. Okay. Is Aqidah related to the mind or the body or the spirit? What do you think?
This-
Hmm? Mind? Spirit? What do you think?
Mind and spirit.
On the spirit.
Spirit.
Okay. As humans, we are composed of three things, right? What are they? We are composed of three things. What are they?
Body.
The body that you see, then ruh, the spirit, the ruh, and the mind, this power making you think and reflect. Okay, these are the parts of a human being. Okay, the mind and the body and the ruh. What is the food of the body? What is the food of the body?
Food.
Huh?
Food.
It's regular food, right? Vegetables, grains, meat. This is for the body. What is the food of the mind?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. And the foundations of that knowledge is Aqeedah in Allah, okay? What is the food of the Ruh? Iman. The spiritual side, Iman. Read the Quran and being touched by it. Then the Ruh feels happy. Can you believe it? That there are, like in Japan, people are well educated, so their mind is getting the food that they need, right? And they eat very well and healthy food, so their body is getting their food. Then, when it comes to faith, Iman, they don't have something for their ruh, for their spirit. There is nothing. What will happen in that case? There is something wrong. You'll find people killing themselves because there is something empty inside them. It's not satisfying them. They eat well, they go to gym, do practice, they walk, they do that. Then they study, they read, they have good, like exercise for the mind. But when it comes to the ruh, then what will happen? It's empty. So many of them, they go and they commit the crime against themselves Because there is something like imbalance. There is something wrong in it. Feel like unstable. There is something wrong in it. Now in Islam, you should have that balance in your life. If you pay attention to your study, which is good, and you pay attention to your food, which is good, and your body, and your cleanness, etc., exercise, then you need to pay attention to or your ruh. Okay? To your ruh. The ruh will be hungry to get something. Sometimes some people will do it in the wrong way. Some people will have it in the wrong way. How? They start worshiping the wrong side or the wrong thing. Okay? You'll find them attached, and listen to this carefully, they will be attached to wrong spiritual ideas, like sorcery. Do you see people very interested in, for example, what you call that kid who goes to a school to learn sorcery, magic? Harry Potter. Harry Potter, right? And and. You'll find people like very attached to it. Even some, they start like looking for anything spiritual. Oh, stones have energy. And their mind will be occupied with these things and this stone and that stone. Very close to idol worshipping, right? And they buy them and they do all of that. So there is something empty inside them for their ruh. Then they start to fulfill that gap by in the wrong way. As Muslims, we should fulfill it in the correct way because you cannot escape. It's difficult to escape. So do it through the Quran and Islam. And one of the best ways is the adhkar. You know the adhkar, right? What you say when you wear clothing, what you say when you take off, to be connected always with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But there is another type of dhikr. What is it? The continuous dhikr. وَالذَّاكِرِينَ اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا وَالذَّاكِرَاتِ. It is to say subhanallah, for example, 1,000 times in a day. To say, or 200 or whatever, to make salah on Rasulullah multiple times. So spiritually you will be connected and you will have that tranquility. Or reading Quran. There is spiritual cure and medicine that will, this hunger or thirst for a spiritual side, you can find it in the Quran too. Salah, when you pray it with full khushu' and focus. Not just like exercise for the body, but it is for the ruh. Okay? So this is why Muslims, it is very important to learn the Aqeedah, to build on it Iman, and to practice Islam in your life, to have that balance in your life. Subhanallah, something is strange, maybe you don't feel it. There are some people who are very poor, but spiritual because their ruh is satisfied, you'll find them very happy. You'll find on the other hand, some people who are very rich and have everything possible they wanted, but still they feel uneasy. And by the way, another wrong way to fulfill that spiritual is music and hobbies. Music and hobbies. Because there is a spiritual side in it. There is a spiritual side in them. Someone's so much into music. Have you ever seen someone who's walking the street and you're like doing all of that? You're like so much into it. It became, instead of having the rhythm of the Quran and the spiritual connection with Allah, becomes you like a music or hobby, so much in the hobby to the point that somebody might forget himself. So this is also, it has a spiritual dimension. It has Muslim, doesn't mean you should not have a hobby. You can have a hobby. But Quran should be first instead of music in your life. You should do your salah from the early morning when you wake up to before you go to bed. Notice that you have prayers, right? Every now and then, as if there is someone to remind you, stop your study, stop. Now, take care of your ruh. You have been in school for hours and hours, taking care of your mind and eating. Now it is time. What about your ruh? Go and take care of it. Then you stop and you do some salah, some dhikr, some Quran. Then you go back to life. Then another reminder, stop, that's enough. Go and do your salah. Have that connection with Allah, with focus, with khushu'. Again, not exercise, salah exercise. It is the exercise of the ruh. Any question? What is the connection between Aqeedah and Fitrah? Have you ever heard of Fitrah? This is the first evidence that Allah exists, is the Fitrah. You remember the third part that we said it is your ruh, right? We said it is ruh. A part of that ruh is the fitrah. There is something instinct, innate, that is built in every human being, Muslim or non-Muslim, that makes you desire the spiritual thing. There is some common sense related to it that makes you judge things. This is right, this is wrong. This is fitrah, a mechanism or a power, that innate power or way that Allah planted in humans. That is fitrah. It is the first thing to direct you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the experience that one of the atheist pilots, he was taken high up in the sky one time. And when they throw him or he has to jump, seeing the world underneath him, falling from the plane, they asked him about his experience. He said, I feel that there is something deep inside me telling me that there must be a God for this big universe. Something deep. That unfortunately some people go to a stick or a stone and saying this is the God. But the fitrah keeps telling them that no, it is not. They will see the limitations. The fitrah keeps urging people that this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You should be attached to something way bigger, something superior to you. Okay? So the Aqeedah, it is related to the mind. Bring that knowledge and bring it tranquility, peace to your fitrah. Fitrah guides you. It should match and live in harmony, the Aqeedah and Ruh together. It is the knowledge that will bring to the fitrah. What is the basic phrase and the principles of Aqeedah, the kalima? The basic of the Aqeedah is shahada. This is what the kalima al-tawheed. What brings somebody to Islam is la ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah. This is the basic. So the majority of the course will be about that phrase, la ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. And which part is more important? La ilaha illallah is more important. La ilaha illallah is more important. Anything that comes after it is related to it. Okay, but la ilaha illallah. So talking about Allah as the only one who creates, who controls, who does everything. So that is the basic. Okay, it has two parts. The kalima has two parts. What are the two parts or pillars of la ilaha illallah? No God but Allah. What are the two pillars? What are the two parts? Yes? Mm-hmm.
Do or not to do.
Do and not to do, or no and yes. The first one is no God, right? So the first part is no God. You don't believe in anyone. Then you say illallah, except Allah. So it is negation, saying no, and affirmation, saying yes. These are the two parts of la ilaha illallah. Kadala. So the two parts of la ilaha illallah. Number one, denying any God. And number two, what? Affirming Allah as the only God. So two parts. You notice that it has two parts? You notice, Malik, do you notice that it has two parts? La ilaha, no God. This is negation, nafi. Then an ithbat, illallah, except Allah. Do you notice that? Or just you say la ilaha illallah without reflecting on it? How to explain it to someone? Right? Number one, no God. Number two, except Allah. Right? No and yes. No and yes. Negation and affirmation. Okay. Iman and Islam. If you are a Muslim, raise your hand. If you consider yourself a Muslim, raise your hand. Good, thank you. Hands down. If you are a mu'min, a believer, raise your hand. If you are a believer. Thank you, good. So what is the difference between Islam and Iman? Read this paragraph if you don't know and discuss with your friend. What is the difference between Islam and Iman? I am a Muslim and I am a mu'min. I am a Muslim and I am a mu'min. Read this paragraph and discuss with the one beside you. So first two here together here. here, together, and together. Explain to them what is the difference between Islam and Iman.
Basically, Iman is to have faith in Allah and believe in it and accept Him as an end. And the only God to worship. Islam is to believe to do everything Allah allows us to do to be better to Allah that worship and feel love. Between Iman and Islam is that Iman is more
sorry.
mind and heart.
So, what is Islam and Iman?
You are a Muslim when you practice and you believe you have time
And write your name on it here, okay?
So you says Islam is to have faith in Allah, believe in it. Islam is practice. Here it says that Iman is Aqeedah and practicing it, and Aqeedah is the brain. So is Iman Aqeedah and practice it a bit, and Islam is like...
Yes. We are breaking it down here. Notice here at the very end the note that you have. Yes. Little the very end. No, here. And this. The last note.
No, Iman is Islam mentioned in the Quran.
So it is mentioned in the Quran in many cases. Each one refers to the other. Did that answer? Okay. So what is Islam and what is Iman? Yes.
Islam is to have faith in Allah,
Okay. And Iman.
and Iman is to... No, wait. Iman is to have faith in Allah.
Faith. So Iman is about the faith in Allah. And Islam?
Islam is to surrender to Allah and worship in Allah.
Okay. That's good. What else? That's good. Mhm.
Iman is like the motive. And then Islam is like the action.
Okay, that's good too. Good. What else? Islam, yes.
When you're a Muslim, you practice Islam.
When you are a Muslim, you practice Islam, okay, by actions and saying, okay?
And Islam is like a way of life, like the things you do.
And Iman is a way of life.
Islam.
Islam is a way of life. And Iman,
Iman is when you have a strong foundation of faith in Allah. And
Okay.
When you have and when like
okay. Around it, yes.
Me and Abdurrahman kind of thought about it as like the Iman being like the motive, the internal motive, and the belief.
Mm-hmm.
And Islam is how we do it, or like
Practicing it.
Or
Yeah.
Practicing
Or
it.
like the motor to the fan.
Okay, that's good.
Fair.
Correct. Okay.
Islam is like knowing how to make slime, and then Iman is like liking slime.
Can you repeat?
Islam is like knowing how to make slime, like knowing what it is. But Iman is like actually liking it and
Okay.
using it, like
Okay.
applying it. in
You are close, all of you. Okay. So Iman is the faith. Basically, is the faith in your heart. This is the theory, the knowledge, the spiritual experience. Islam is a practical thing, a practice. Okay, let me give you the example. Iman, I believe in Allah. I count them, and I believe in Allah, His malaika, in my mind, right? Okay, if I believe in Allah, I should do salah. I should say that I believe in Allah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I should do Hajj and Umrah and fasting. So when it comes to practice, something that the body is doing is Islam. The heart and mind is doing, then it is Iman. Which one is easy to judge people? Like if you see somebody there, one is practicing Islam, is making sujood and ruku'. The other one is standing there saying that he has Iman in his heart and mind. Which one is easy to notice and to judge
the
people?
one who's doing such.
Which one is easier to notice? Islam, right? Because you look at him and he's like doing salah and ibadah, so it's easy. Because physically his body is practicing it, right? But Iman, is he truly a believer in his heart? How to know? So some of the hypocrites at the time of the Messenger ﷺ, they would pray behind him, and they are what? Muslims, right? So Rasulullah dealt with them as Muslims because they come to the masjid and they offer salah and they fast Ramadan. But inside their hearts, what was?
Hatred.
Disbelief. They did not actually believe in Allah and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are hypocrites. So how to deal with them? So we dealt with them as Muslims from outside because they offer salah. But are they true believers? No. So faith is more in the heart. However, notice here that there is a note that Umar asked about it. Notice here in this paragraph. Anyone can read it? Yeah, Uthman.
When Iman and Islam are mentioned in the Quran and Hadith, they include each other in general.
In general, when they are mentioned in the Quran, the believers, it means Muslims and believers. Or Islam, it means both. Okay? Like in Surah Al-Dhariyat, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that when He sent the Malaika, that they came to punish the people of Lut, okay? And they looked for the believers to rescue them. فَمَا وَجَدْنَا فِيهَا غَيْرَ بَيْتٍ إِلَى الْمُسْلِمِينَ. So, and they took the Muslims. So in that context, both of them are the same. Islam and Iman, they are the same. Okay? So when you raise your hand, it is the same. When you say, I am a Muslim, submitting myself to Allah. I am a believer, I believe in Allah. Okay? So if we use one of them, it means both. But linguistically, just for your knowledge, a little bit in depth. I'm not teaching that to level 2 and 3. It's a little bit maybe difficult for them, although I mentioned in level 2. But for you, you understand it more, inshallah. Okay, so when it is mentioned in the Quran, usually both of them are the same. What are the 5 pillars of Islam and the 6 pillars of Iman? Pillars of Islam. What are they? Bismillah. Who can count them quickly? It's easy. Muhammad.
Shahada.
Shahada, that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is messenger.
Praying.
Salah.
Saum.
Saum, fasting.
Hajj.
Hajj.
And Ramadan. No, Zakah.
Zakah.
Sorry.
بني الإسلام على 5. Islam is built on 5 things. And right? أن تشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله. وتقيم الصلاة, to establish صلاة. وتؤتي الزكاة, to pay zakah. وتصوم رمضان, and وتحج البيت, and to go and make hajj. Okay. What are the articles of Iman which is related to our faith? So our course in general is about these articles of Iman. Okay. To believe, آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره. We believe in Allah, His malaika, His angels, His kutub, His books, His scriptures, His rusul, messengers and the prophets, and the yawm al-akhir, the judgment day, and al-qadr, the decree of Allah, His decision. Whatever He decides is going to happen, whether it is easy or difficult for us. Now with your friend, I want you to check your knowledge and to say them to your friend beside you, and let your friend say them to you, let them say it to you, and make sure. If you can say them in both Arabic and English, that would be great. If not, at least you know one of them. You need to know. This is the foundation of our course, okay? This is what we'll be studying. The articles of Iman, or the pillars of Iman. Go ahead with your friend, practice them. Make sure that I believe in Allah. Start in order. آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر, the day of judgment, والقدر خيره وشره. والقدر خيره. Okay, say it. Each one to say to the other. In Arabic or in English or in both. No, articles of Iman.
Yo, I need to write this up. It's not good.
حكيتهم بالإنجليزي والعربي؟ لسه English and Arabic? Not yet?
No. Yeah, to believe in Allah, to shahada, to pray salah, to pay zakah, to fast Ramadan, and to do the pilgrimage hajj. To do it.
Okay. Let us repeat the articles of Iman because they are the foundation of our course, okay? So our course Aqeedah, we'll be studying each one in details, okay? Each one in details, okay? This is the Aqeedah. Okay, آمنت بالله together. آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره. Again, آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره. آمنت بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره. I believe in Allah, His malaika or His angels, His books, scriptures, Rusul, His prophets and messengers, and the day of judgment or judgment day, and the qadr, the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether difficult or easy. Okay? Agree?
Yes.
Okay, this is the faith of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Oh, where did that come from? Can you mention one text that includes the pillars of Iman and Islam together in one text? One ayah or one hadith? There are many ayat and many hadith, sometimes focusing on them all, sometimes partially. But there is one text that includes both of them. Yes?
When Jibreel came when the Prophet was sitting with his Sahaba,
Excellent.
and Jibreel came as as a distant traveler, no one knew him.
Excellent.
And he
Excellent.
sat there and asked him these questions.
So Hadith Jibreel. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You will study that hadith in the hadith course, and you need to memorize it. Already you know a part of it, okay? Because the articles of Iman. So Rasulullah was with his companions in the masjid. Someone came, a stranger who was not traveling. Someone nobody knows was wearing very white clothing and very dark hair, no dust. And if somebody is traveling in the old days in the desert, then he will be like dusty, right? So he was not traveling nice clothing, and he was not from Medina. And he came direct to Rasulullah, and he sat in front of him as you sit in Salah, in Tashahhud. And that is the polite sitting. If you seek knowledge, when you sit beside your parents, before a teacher, sit like that, fold your legs, or you sit, putting them aside together. Then he asked him, what is Islam? And Rasulullah, Ya Muhammad, mal Islam? And he taught him, Islam is تشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمد رسول الله وتقيم الصلاة وتؤتي الزكاة وتصوم رمضان وتحج البيت إن استطعت. قال صدقت. He said, yes, that's true. And the Sahaba were like, what? فعجبنا له يسأله ويصدقه. He's asking the question, then he said it's true. That means he knows the answer. Then قال ما الإيمان? What is Iman? قال أن تشهد لله أن تؤمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر والقدر خيره وشره. قال صدق. قال ما الإحسان? قال أن تعبد الله. What is إحسان? Perfection. He said to worship Allah as you see Him. Even if you don't see Him, He sees you very well. Okay. Do you remember the three components that we have? We are composed of what? The three things. Brain, body, and the ruh. Right? Okay. So now he asked him the first three questions. Jibril asked five questions. Okay. So the first three questions, which one is related to the body? Which one is related to the mind? Which one is related to the ruh? Arkan al-Islam, pillars of Islam.
That's
Related to what?
The pillar of
Islam, what part of the body practices or related to it?
the mind.
It's the body.
The body.
The body.
Islam, you fast and you do Hajj and you do physically Salah and Ruku, right? So Islam is related to the body. Okay, what about Iman? Related
To iman.
to the mind. You are sitting with a non-Muslim. He says, what is your faith? And you say, okay, Jet, wait a second. I believe in Allah, in His Malaika. All of that is what? In your mind. Although it is connected to your body. But basically it is mind, knowledge. Right? Then Ihsan, to reach that level when you worship Allah as if you see Him in front of you. That full consciousness of Allah. That is related to what? To the Ruh. Okay? And that is the highest level. The highest level is Ihsan. Perfection. What? Okay, what is Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah? This is the faith of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Are you Sunni? Are you from Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah? Yes. So what is Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah? What is Sunni? Are you Sunni? Raise your hand if you're Sunni. A Muslim, but Sunni, following the Sunnah. So what is Muslim Sunni? Yes, what does it mean? Anyone? Yes?
Sunni Muslim? It means you, when you're Sunni Muslim, you follow the teachings of the Prophet and the Hadith, and you also believe in the Quran.
Okay, so, and what else? So you follow Rasulullah and the Quran,
And
his companions, right? Whatever he taught his companions, then they taught the next generation, right? Do you agree? Then they taught the next generation, then they taught the next generation. Until now, I am teaching you, and in the future, you help teach your kids and others in the future, generation after. Sunnah means the path. Sunnah means the path. Notice here, Sunnah is a path or a trail in a mountain or in a difficult area. Imagine that there is a big mountain and you have to go through it. And there is a path that animals made for you. Usually, this is how humans create their streets. Usually, they follow the paths of animals, the trails of animals. This is how usually they do. They start traveling, then over time, then it becomes like a street. So this is Sunnah. This is Sunnah. You are following the path of Rasulullah. Wherever he goes, you are following him and his companions. This is Sunnah, okay? So this is the faith of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. We are following the Quran and the Sunnah according to how the Sahaba reported it to us. We read the Quran and the Sunnah and we see how Rasulullah practiced it and how the companions. Okay? Any question? Because I'm giving you something advanced. This I did not discuss in previous courses in level 1 and 2. But for you, yes.
And what about Shia? How are they different?
Oh, Shia, they go to the loyalty to the family of the Prophet, that Ali should be like the governor. But over time, they have ideologies that they changed. They changed and did not fit the path of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, what text of the Quran and foundations of Aqeedah? What are the foundations in the Quran that you can use to talk about the Aqeedah? We'll be studying a text called the Aqeedah Tahawiyya, right? But in the Quran, what are the most important texts related to Aqeedah? Ayat al-Kursi. So if somebody asks you about, a non-Muslim asks you about Islam, just go and explain to them Ayat al-Kursi and Surah Ikhlas. Just tell them about Allah. Surah Ikhlas. Tell them about Allah, Ikhlas. Tell them about Ayat al-Kursi. And what else? The last 3 ayat in Surah al-Hashir, talking about Allah, Allahu alladhi la ilaha illa huwa al-Malik al-Quddus al-Salam al-Mu'min al-Muhaymin al-Aziz al-Jabbar al-Mutakabbir subhanallah amma yushrikun. Okay? So these are the foundations. Okay, let us stop here. Have 5 minutes a break. Then you come back and you grab a Quran, because it will be the Quranic class. There are Qurans that have lines.